For most of the 20th century, scientists believed your IQ was essentially locked in at birth. You got what you got, and that was that. Then something strange happened. Across multiple countries, over multiple decades, average IQ scores kept rising, generation after generation scoring higher than the one before. Not because humans were suddenly evolving, but because something in the environment was changing the way brains developed and performed. Scientists called this the Flynn Effect, and it quietly destroyed the idea that intelligence is fixed. Because if entire populations can become measurably more intelligent across a few decades, then intelligence is not a ceiling, it is a range. And where you operate within that range depends enormously on what you do with your brain every single day. So what actually moves the needle? The first thing is the one most people skip entirely: sleep. Not as a reward for working hard, as the actual mechanism through which your brain consolidates learning, clears metabolic waste, and builds the neural connections that make you faster and sharper the next day. One night of poor sleep measurably reduces cognitive performance in ways that mirror mild intoxication. Most people are walking around in a permanent low-grade cognitive fog, and they have adapted to it so thoroughly they have forgotten what clear actually feels like. The second thing is harder to market, so nobody talks about it: boredom. Your brain has a default mode network, a system that activates specifically when you are doing nothing, when you are not consuming, not scrolling, not filling every gap with input. And this network is directly associated with creativity, problem solving, and the kind of lateral thinking
that makes someone seem genuinely intelligent rather than just well-informed. Every time you reach for your phone in a moment of quiet, you are interrupting a cognitive process that cannot happen any other way. The third thing is the one that has the most evidence behind it and the least glamour: reading. Specifically, long-form reading that requires you to hold complex ideas across time and build mental models of things you cannot see. Not articles, not summaries, books. The kind that require you to stay with something difficult long enough for it to change the shape of your thinking. Here is the reframe. Intelligence is not a number. It is a practice. The people who seem genuinely smart, not just knowledgeable, but actually sharp, are almost always people who have, over years, built habits that keep their brain operating at the top of its natural range. You were not given a fixed amount of intelligence at birth. You were given a brain that responds to what you do with it. The question is, what have you been doing with it?